I want to talk to you about the top 5 dropshipping hacks for luxury branding. Okay, so the thing is, everybody's selling dropshipping products, but I'm talking to you, boss. If you want to make more money, why don't you try to position yourself on the luxury niche, in the luxury niche? Okay, so in today's conversation, I want to share with you a few tips, tricks, and hacks that you can implement today, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today, to actually make your dropshipping products look more luxury like, so you can charge more. Okay, so here are the steps I really want you to follow. You need to understand what happens when when you have got let's say you've got a very average product, but you want to convince customers that it belongs in a more premium category. Now, if you are marketing a mid-range product, there are a few things you can do that you can actually make more money. Okay, and I want you to really understand that everybody understand that this is, you will not be the first person to do this. Everyone knows that retailers have various tricks up their sleeve to convince customers to buy more than they intended. Okay, and so the very first thing I want you to pay attention to is the logo and branding. Boss, this is so important. If you have a drop shipping, if you have an average drop shipping product that you are trying to brand as a luxury item, you need to think about the logo and branding. Okay, logo design not only conveys a message about your brand, it only indicates to customers how much you have invested in your brand. It is really important. So if you settle, let's say you're trying to sell a very average drop shipping product, and you are selling for a design that is rushed, cheap, and not particularly impressive or interesting, that's exactly what you're saying about the company and products that it represents. Okay, so your drop shipping products will just be average at best. Is that what you want, best? Is that what you want, boss? No. Remember, luxury brands are sleek and minimal. Luxury brands use lots of white space. Luxury brands use great typography. This is really important. Typography is really important. Okay, so it's important to understand that typography is one of the biggest things that most people get wrong about design, that makes the biggest difference in your branding's actual look. So for the most part, high-end brands use two types of typefaces. The first is a high-quality contrast serif fonts based on a font called Dido. There is a lot of variations of it, and you see it everywhere. So think of Vogue, Prada, the Ritz-Carlton. All of them use it in their logo or their masthead. So this is the quintessential fashion, high-end, expensive-looking typeface. Okay, but there's a lot, especially in a few years, that use a very simple or minimal sans serif. It says serif font. Okay, examples of this are like brands like Chanel, Celine, Saint Laurent. They've switched to this, going much more minimal, almost like they are undesigned. So this is really important. You need to get the first part right. Okay, so logo and branding is really, really important. The second thing you want to pay attention to is the packaging design. Boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And I want to talk to you about the second thing you got to pay attention to if you're trying to maximize the value of your drop shipping item. So packaging design is really important. See, the whole thing is you're probably buying stuff from China and you just sell it in the States or Europe, whatever, or Australia. It doesn't really matter. But what about your packaging? The same way your logo and branding is communicating something about your company, the same way your packaging is communicating something about your company. Let me ask you a question. Do you want your packaging to actually convey an image of a very cheap drop shipping product, or do you want to convey like a very like sleek, a very high quality product? Remember, your customers have no idea that you are drop shipping. They have no idea. So it's up to you to really think of this in terms of, I'm the producer of this. They're thinking you are the producer of the item. They don't care if it's outsourced, drop shipped. They don't really care. So make sure the packaging is really, the design of the packaging is really sleek. Remember, luxury brands use simple, repeating patterns, usually made of monograms. Monograms is really important. Now, brands that use a monogram logo often incorporate that monogram into a distinctive pattern. Think luxury handbags, for example, Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Gucci. They all have a repeating monogram pattern that they use on their products and branding, and it's become iconic for them. Okay, and so this is pretty much it. They don't use a lot of other graphics or symbols. Okay, remember, when we talk about packaging design, we're talking about making sure that you have a simple repeating patterns. Okay, and the thing here is that you also need to think about making sure that your packaging looks bespoke, it looks customized, it looks differentiated. Okay, it's really important. So you need to invest. If you have to maybe go on TopTal or a Fiverr or Upwork to have a designer design for you your packaging, please do that. This will help you a lot charge more. You can charge more for your drop shipping products, and this is going to help you actually move up the ladder in terms of pricing when it comes to your drop shipping products. Very, very important. The third thing I want you to do here is the language. Language is really important. By the way, boss, what are we talking about here? I just want to really remind you of the conversation I'm having today with you. I'm trying to give you the 5 drop shipping hacks for making your products look more expensive, okay? We're not trying to charge you $1 or $2 like a small ass price here. We're talking about charging big dollar here. Big dollar. It's all about making the big bank, okay? So what you need to pay attention to the language that you use. How do you act? Like your logo is important, yes, but also you try to have things like you want to pay attention to how you communicate about your products. Take Starbucks coffee. So instead of small, medium, and large, beverages come in tall, grande, and venti, grande, whatever. So these words were specifically chosen to evoke the romance of Italian coffee bars, transporting customers away from a generic American experience and into a luxurious house of coffee connoisseurs. Okay. And all of these things, people can say, well, this is kind of like a lying to the customers. You're not lying to the customers. You are actually creating some kind of expectations, and you are charging for that expectations. It's like business 101. Don't try to discuss it. So if you try to really to increase the price of your drop shipping products, start paying attention to the language you're using. Okay, luxury brands have simple logos. They pay attention to that language. They use black and white and maybe a pop of color here and there, but this is important to really make sure that to really understand that you are basically paying attention to the most important thing, which is language. But see, the language has to be in sync with your target audience. If your target audience is expecting some kind of language and you are using something else, we have a gap, we have a delta. So you have a situation here. So make sure that whatever language you use is in sync, that your target audience can understand the language. Listen, I'm not asking you to actually like start sounding like very smart and use very complicated words and try to razzle dazzle people. No, I'm not saying this. I'm just saying that you want to appear different. You want to differentiate yourself. Okay, you want to use things that really are appealing to your customers and make sure that your customers know exactly what they're getting by talking to you. But again, by doing this, you will be able to charge more for your drop shipping products. And that's the key. That's the key word anyway. Charging more. That's the key phrase here. Okay. The fourth hack that I want you to really pay attention to is photography. Boss, photography is so important. The quality of your drop shipping product, the visuals, tells your customer all they need to know about the quality of your products. Let me repeat that. The quality of your product visuals tells your customer all they need to know about the quality of your products. So once you have created a positive first impression with good photos, most buyers can forgive much of the environment in which they eventually experience whatever it is you're trying to sell. For example, the majority of premium alcoholic spirits are seen in local pubs and supermarkets aisles that are nowhere near as trendy or sexy as the bar they are advertised in. Despite that, consumers still link aspirational prestige to their to a gin, for example, or their favorite tonic, or whatever the house standard might be. What I'm trying to say here is that if you are selling a specific dropshipping products, make sure that you invest in quality photography. Sometimes it really helps to actually to invest in high-end photography. Why? Because luxury brands always, and I want to emphasize the word always, luxury brands always use high-end photography. No if, buts, and whatever. You have to spend the money, okay? So when building your brand identity for your dropshipping products, you have to think about visuals beyond just a logo or pattern, okay? Do you want to use photography, illustration, graphics, or a combination? While every brand is different, Luxury brands usually stick to photography and stay away from illustrations and graphics. And generally, it's a really, 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 really good photography. Really good photography. They're not playing, okay? So my advice to you is, if you're trying to actually mimic those luxury brands and make your drop shipping products look more expensive, make sure that you invest in high quality photography. And sometimes it's just a lot better to think of it as a one-time investment, but an investment that will have a very high ROI down the road, because once you hook your customers with quality visuals, they know what they can expect from you. I mean, the profits start rolling from there. Okay, so this is important. The last thing I want you to really do, remember, I promised you 5 hacks. The last thing I want you to think about is the pricing and choice. So those are really important. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. What am I talking about to you? I'm giving you the top 5 drop shipping hacks for making your products look more expensive. Okay, so let's talk about the pricing and choice. Now, you could probably say, well, let's say you're selling an average drop shipping products, an everyday product such as a pair of sneakers. I mean, sneakers are not really everyday products, but let's say you just selling sneakers and you're charging, let's say, $100, and you want to actually up the price. You want to up the positioning of the sneakers. If you keep charging the $100 after doing all the things that I just told you, the logo and branding, the packaging and design, the language, the photography, if you keep the price at $100, nobody's going to believe that your sneakers are indeed premium. So you need to actually raise the price. Okay, you need to raise the price. Remember that customers are willing to pay for a product for which they are convinced that the quality is there, and they're convinced that product in their eyes really merits the premium space that it wants to occupy. This is so important. Okay, and you can charge from there. You can charge anything. You can charge anything, like crazy amounts, like crazy amounts. Believe me, if you don't think that what I'm saying is true, think about the game, the very smart game that the iPhone has been able to accomplish in the last few years. Okay, it's like iPhone. Like Apple can charge $2,000 for an iPhone. People will buy. $3,000 for an iPhone. People will buy. You know why? Because they've already done the work. They've done the work in terms of the branding, in terms of the positioning, in terms of the photography, in terms of the packaging design. Okay, all the supply chain that comes with it is really there to support the fact that they are able to charge as much. So you have to do it as well. When it comes to pricing for your drop shipping products, make sure that you are getting customers exactly what they want. Once you do that, you are able to charge as much as you want. But obviously, you're not going to charge $10,000 if they can buy your products, if they can find your product somewhere at $100 though. So you still need to strike the right balance between the price you are willing to charge and how much the market is really willing to absorb at a specific moment in time. So this is really important. Let me give you a few pro tips as you are trying to, as you have your drop shipping products, as you're trying to gradually make your way up the ladder, trying to sell more, trying to charge more. It's important to understand that there are some key characteristics that all luxury brands have that I want you to mimic right now. I want you to copy, boss. I want you to copy this right now, and I want you to pay attention. So first, you have a high price point. If you want your dropshipping product to be seen as a luxury item in the market, you need to have a high pricing point. Again, I'm not asking you to charge something astronomical. No, you still need to charge a price that the market is willing and able to absorb. This is really important, okay? But you have to think about having a highest price point. You got to have your item must be design driven, okay? And this is important. Remember, the most crucial characteristics is that luxury brands are design driven. Think fashion, think makeup, think cars, think hotels, think watches. All of these things where design matters, okay? The style is the selling point. The design translates not only to the product, but to the brand as a whole. It's incredibly rare to find a high-end product brand that does not prioritize design. So those that don't are an exception to the rule, okay? So you have to really think about that. Also, think about the quality. So obviously, you have a drop shipping product. We all know if you in the drop shipping in the dropshipping business model, you're not necessarily responsible for the quality of the products nor the distribution, but this is where you have to make sure you have to involve yourself, and in terms of vetting, in terms of choosing and vetting suppliers, dropshipping suppliers, so that those dropshipping suppliers know exactly the kind of quality you want to expect from them. This is really important, because the last thing you want is to actually do all the work, all the work in terms of quality, design, everything, and you have a dropshipping supplier who's not following suit. In other words, they're not adapting their processes and their qualities to the level that you want to convey to the customer. What I'm trying to say here is, if you have a gap, let's say you have a gap between the quality you're trying to communicate to the customer and the quality that your dropshipping supplier is delivering, that gap, that delta, that chasm is going to ruin all your efforts. Okay, so make sure that you talk to all your folks, everybody involved in the supply chain. So your dropshipping suppliers, your dropshipping agent, if you have some, your dropshipping platforms, like if you're using Spockets, if you're using Doba, if you're using AliExpress, if you're using all kinds of dropshipping platforms, make sure that you hold them to a certain standard that will help you actually succeed in the long run. Okay, this is very important, because again, clients will come to you if they see value here. And the other thing I want to say here is that we also want to talk about exclusivity. So when we talk about things that actually characterize luxury brands, exclusivity is really important. Okay, now I'm not saying that you have to actually sell a dropshipping product that is so exclusive nobody wants to buy them. No, you want to buy something that is exclusive, in the sense that it's not commonly seen. Not everybody has it. Okay, your clients will be willing to pay more if they realize that the product you're selling, the dropshipping product that you're selling, is actually unique. Remember, nobody knows, your clients don't know that you are dropshipping this product. They think you're the manufacturer. They don't even care that you're the dropshipper, the dropshipping agent. They don't care about your place in the supply chain, right? What they care about is the exclusivity. They care about is the quality. They also care about the badge value. Badge value is really important. You need to assign the proper badge value to your dropshipping products. What am I talking here? Remember, when we talk about actually elevating the status of your dropshipping products, we're talking about badge value as a status symbol. A badge value is something you want to rep. When you see people wearing Gucci flip-flops or rocking the Louis Vuitton bags, they are proud. They want to show it off. And essentially, they want to be a brand ambassador of what that badge value says about them. Luxury and high-end brands make people feel good about themselves. These brands have become a symbol of success, power, culture, and that is something that you can only attain after years and years and years, okay? But it's also a product of the brand you have built. Okay, this is important. Also, think about a niche audience. So remember, if you are going to dropship luxury brands, or you are going to elevate your average dropshipping product into a luxury category, remember that luxury brands are not for everyone, but not in the way you think. I don't mean they're exclusive or expensive. Rather, they are not trying to appeal to everyone. They don't market to consumers who cannot afford their products. They know very clearly and specifically who their audience is, and that's who they go after. Okay, so this is really something you need to think about. So this is where I was telling you earlier that you have to go back to the origins, look at your target audience, and know exactly who your audience is, so you can market specifically to them. Don't try to stretch yourself too thin. Sometimes it's a lot better to sell like a few items if you're charging $1,000 for each item, as opposed to try and sell like 1,000 items if you're charging $1 for it, right? So at the end of the day, it's all about revenue. It's all about your revenue. So make sure that you have the proper strategy. Very important. Let me give you a bonus before closing today's conversation. You need to understand that luxury brands do have a few messaging techniques that they have used in the last few years, and those techniques are really, really very effective. And I think you, as a dropshipper, you need to actually incorporate this in your strategy as well. I mean, I'm not saying you have to copy and paste what the the luxury brands are doing, but try to mimic their strategy. Try to understand and see how you can adapt their strategy, their tips and tricks and hacks to your own drop shipping business. Okay. Remember, luxury brands project confidence. Whether a brand is more lighthearted or formal, with most luxury brands being the latter, they always show up with confidence. They know they are worth their money, and all of their messaging, storytelling, ads, the voice of everything they do is dripping with confidence. Okay, very important. Luxury brands portray an aspirational lifestyle. So these brands are really expert at fitting into their target audience's dreams and ambitions and uphold those ideas. Okay, they create this world where you are important, you are stylish, you are rich, you are luxurious, and you can do all of these incredible things. So the brands will portray this lifestyle. This is important, and this is not only something that Rolex can do. Even if you are not luxury or you don't sell a product, you can use branding that plays on your customers' lifestyle and aspirations. You can sell them the transformation you provide. You can sell them the feeling that they will have when they use your drop shipping products. Okay, and luxury brands make you feel cool, special, or important. So if you are currently running a dropshipping business right now and you are trying to find strategies to actually increase your revenue, you're trying to increase your net income, okay, and you want to pivot a little bit onto the luxury brand, I would say category, make sure that you are selling products that make your clients feel cool, special, or important. Now, they make feel cool, special, or important. This will be part of also your communication, the promotion, the strategy that you have, okay? Because luxury brands are masterful at feeding into our desires, our ego, our deep-seated needs, and making us feel validated because we have some designer goods, okay? So this is something you need to pay attention to. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was just giving you 5 dropshipping hacks for making your products look more expensive. So basically, I spoke to you about logo and branding, very important. Packaging and design, this is another important element. Language, important. Photography, okay. Pricing and choice, those are really important, okay. And I just kind of gave you a few characteristics of luxury brands, things like high price point, design driven, quality, exclusivity, badge value, niche audience. And in terms of messaging techniques, they actually project confidence, they portray an aspirational lifestyle, and they make you feel cool, special, or important. Thank you. I hope we have added value to your life and business as of today. And please smash the like button if you want to, and you can share this content if you want to. But God bless you. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.